Radiant team, Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
League's assassin.
Dire team pick.
Double challenge.
Radiant team pick.
I speak
Dire
for the
team
trees.
back.
Lycan.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team pick. Dire team pick.
Elder Titan.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Tide Hunter.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Storm Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Dragon Knight.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Ember Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Juggernaut.
You may now select your heroes.
think they have a decent lane for the Lycan against the Ember Spirit, Nature's Prophet. He'll eventually get that Necro Book, probably be able to take some towers because he can force the Tide to rotate, and then maybe dive the DK. The Jug offers some nice mid-game damage to bring down these tanky boys. I think they have a legit shot if they get that early momentum and Jug gets that Maelstrom Ag Scepter at a decent timing.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you, of course, after the game. And, you know, Brian being devil's advocate, it is a draft where Empire, the ball's in their court, right? That's fair to say, Cap?
I don't really know. Like, I actually, I didn't think Brian needed to play devil's advocate because I actually like the overall competition. I feel like in some ways they focus too much on this Lycan. The Lycan gets downgraded to a 3 position. I feel good about Storm Spirit Juggernaut just being able to play their game. They don't have that much pressure on them because they no longer can take towers, yes, but they also don't need those towers so much. It's actually most of the onus on LtW to be able to make things work with this Tidehunter DK and being able to frontline and take towers and take map control. Farm-wise, you know, all things are equal at 25 minutes. Empire's going to win this. Yeah.
All right. Well, see, we'll hear your opinion about how the game went after the game because we're ready to join our commentary team in that game. It is over to Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, Team Empire and LtW ready to go head-to-head here as the game is all kicking off. Fogged, what would you reckon for the lineups that we've had here? Do you sort of favor one of the sides here? Are you scared of the Lycan, or do you think they're going to have ways to deal with it?
I think the Lycan can do a lot actually in this game. I feel like he can dictate pace. Sure, he's into some of these counters, but I feel like they can move around quickly, and I feel like LtW isn't set up for these tower defenses. They could just actually start to fall very quickly behind because I'm looking and they're lacking a lot of deep push. They actually have like nothing on their team. They don't have any, like, you know, the wave clear, the Lina nukes, like anything like that, like some actual spam. It's like the sleight of fist spam is the way for them to slow down and halt these towers. Besides that, they have to literally just have Afterlife. He has to park himself in front of all these towers when these. So his job might be a little difficult, and we'll see if Empire can actually take advantage of that and maybe make him do like a bad TP somewhere, and then they push the opposite side. There's a couple fun ways that Empire could look to get themselves a good start in this game.
Battle begins.
Sure, because, you know, on the side of LtW, they've obviously got some pretty good push themselves with the Prophet and the DK, but when you say that sort of timing is going to be hit by Empire and their heroes and they're coming in with the push, if LtW do try and just trade across the map, that you don't think they're going to be able to trade as efficiently as Empire will?
They could struggle. It all just depends on how they do it, their movements. As laning is also really important. They're both trying to get their matchups, right? Tidehunter doesn't want to lane versus Jug. Lycan doesn't want to lane versus Tide. So right now we're just looking at these lane shenanigans, and you see the wards placed by both teams. Actually loving this, you know, both teams clearly understanding what they need to do with these deep wards, scout these lanes out and get these matchups, because they're everything for this game. Look at Afterlife, saving his TP, running across the map. Ember, same thing. They're all just trying to get these matchups that it's appropriate. And now we're gonna have some weird, you know, 5 positions to Neko with some level 2 at the mark and some farm because the lane swapping.
All these cores in between lanes.
Yeah.
I see who's going to be sort of the last to actually get in on the XP. Pretty close on the this top lane.
Jug. Smiling Knight, right? They're both, look at Afterlife and Smiling Knight. They're both just sprinting across the map.
I mean, then once this happens, do you pop the TP then?
The thing is, they both have the TP. They're gonna but everyone in this game actually saved their TPs and lane swapped. So now you're just like, huh. Okay, what do we do here? Because Afterlife, at least he's in his safe lane versus a Jug, which is a little better, but he is into the Jug, which he doesn't want to. And we're seeing some type of swaps coming around here. Seeing how they do want to actually pose these lanes. I love when I see this. It's so important when it's a game like this to get the good matchups. And now we're seeing Eknart, the Elder Titan support. 5 last hits, 4 denies.
Yeah, nearly level 3. No, he's going to have a great start. So, yeah, we'll see sort of what impact that has. Having the supports, having the head start, and the cores going to have to do a few waves of catching up on XP.
Yeah, I think you're not super happy on LtW, but at least, like I was talking about, it's the Tide in the safe lane versus the Jug. So you're at least closer to your tower. You can actually support. And they're going to put a lot of pressure onto bottom now because of this. Tide's in a safer spot. It's a tri-lane versus Petu as well as for Seiyu. And they're versus a Nature's Prophet next. It's not easy. Too much farm.
Yeah, and as you said, even though it is tough for the Tide at the top, you still want him to get solo XP, right? You don't feel that you can achieve anything from having a second hero by his side up there?
No, Seneko can make moves around though freely, right? He's a Nature's Prophet, so wherever he's needed, he'll just TP if it's the opportunity.
We will see, of course. Yeah, this free farm from the Jug is definitely going to come into play. Mid lane, Gwynblade against FM. Seeing Gwynblade definitely having the favorable time here so far. 18 for 5 against the 11 and 0.
A nice matchup versus the DK. One of the few that actually can dominate him because of your nuke damage.
Yeah. You don't care about the brief fire damage reduction, and you're actually going to be able to punch through him. You don't care about his armor.
DK still always just farms, but
sure,
definitely slowed down a little bit. And it's definitely harder for the DK to push out the lane and to secure a rune versus the Storm too, because Storm just pushes it out harder. And we'll see those rotations definitely come out in the next 6 seconds. The supports this top Afterlife. Oh, level 1 spin though.
No, not enough damage to complete this threat. And how's he doing for regen as well in this? Come with, he's got a couple of tangos left. See Eknart really forced him back with those punches. I mean, those levels.
Yeah, Boots Windlace level 3
yeah.
at the level 2 Spirit, so he's higher level than his Jug, and that's actually really nice for zoning. See this rune check, even a wolf checking, immersion versus Seiyu.
He gets their hands on it. It's gonna be top.
Oh, it's a DD.
Oh, straight in the bottle.
And he's got to put level of Vortex too, so now he can play aggressively versus FN2. I like this. I always love when I see. I think every game, for me at least, unless you're against a ranged hero, you want to get level of
top lane. Wait, they should have it this time. They've got the level 3, so no trouble taking him out. And this is obviously what they were trying to avoid with those switch arounds early on. This Tide is... He's going to suffer unless he's somehow able to get that creep wave in a better position top.
Oh, bottom.
He's going to be in a rough place. They will manage to get Seiyu. I mean, I do feel like, this tri lane...
They got to swap.
Unless they really want to sack this Tides game completely, they're going to get Afterlife straight back down bottom.
He just wasn't. He's literally getting like nothing up there. He wasn't even getting much XP. Same thing for Petu, but Petu has Wolves, so he can at least like snipe a last hitter or deny in between, while Tidehunter can't do anything. So now lanes have been established. They're going to switch it up. The Ember can die up top though. He does have to be a little cautious of his positioning.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Before he's going to have his remnants, he's definitely a little vulnerable.
So they're going to have to rotate the Nyx. So Nyx will be able to protect versus the ET. And then they should be able to keep these lanes consistent. But yeah, nice win for Empire.
Rotation.
Start here as rotation.
Gwyn's in, and he's got the catch easily on stream. And this is...
And that was fresh TP, right? So 40 seconds. He's going to respawn. He has 20 seconds. He has to run out to the map.
Well, that definitely hurts. No doubt about it. We'll see Gwyn come back in on the mid, FN. It's going to pop the ult, start to get some damage done to the tier 1 tower. Snake also going to be around for some extra pressure, but Eknart's in. He's ready to hold the defense. He's underneath the tower here. It's going to take a few hits. FN, he's got the pretty full wand, and that will be enough to keep him alive, but still a solid job from Empire here to push back FN during his first Elder Dragon form, limiting the amount of damage being done to their tower.
Yep, and always swing a support in whenever the DK... A support or a core, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot from a bunch of the teams now. DK form gets popped. I've seen a couple Pango games where the Pango rotates and just kills him immediately. So I like this, just bringing both supports. Only 670 damage, 680 damage to the... As Smiling Knight, they swap the lanes again. Tide goes bottom. Jug matches him. Jug always has kill threat on the Tide in lane. And the Lycan, he's the sack. He's been fully counted in the draft, so he always goes to the hardest lane possible for himself. Top. It's fine.
There's going to be quite a bit of right-click built up here by Eknart. Yeah, straight away immersion. Not wanting to mess with the punches of this Elder Titan. I say that still takes a few hits. I mean, he's half his HP there.
And they're rotating.
Oh, again. I mean, they're really crushing this Ember. If they get this Ember again, they've got the stun. Will buy him a bit of safety, but Gwyn's still got plenty of mana to play with. He's diving in. One more, it'll do it. He's got it. Straight in, over towards Dream. He may just get immersion as well. His immersion, he's got stun in a second. Is he able to do something special here? He's trying with the jukes. And I think he's going to do it. He's going to live. Oh. Still sticking a little bit around. But yeah, they've got nothing else to throw onto him underneath the tower. Still though, Empire, they got what they wanted. That Ember kill, they really slowing down this Ember's game. Has left mid open, and FN and Suneko, they don't miss out on this opportunity. Immediately pressuring in and getting a very good time on that mid tier 1.
Oh, and top Petu, he actually stuck around when all of his teammates ditched. He may just die here.
He looks pretty dead.
Okay.
Oh, stomp though. Oh, he got the 2 of them, Eknar. He's going to be able to get definitely the next Assassin Dream.
Oh, he's blocking him.
Is he going to get this Ember?
It's going to be tough.
Well, chains don't catch onto the Elder Titan though, so Eknar can keep diving.
Oh, the tree plant blocks his path.
He is away. He's very low. Is he going to have a spirit in a second? Ooh. Oh, nice light. But it didn't matter. The wolves will do it. I mean, this poor old Ember is 3 times in a row he's been up on this lane Dream, and they've been able to successfully kill him.
And Immersion took his kill too, I believe. Yeah, the last hit there, so he didn't even get a kill to himself. They do at least punch back bottom. I'm surprised they actually get this kill. I'm very surprised, to be honest with you. They killed the Jug, tied in the DK without a Ravage.
Wait,
they must have just caught him on the side or something.
That's
a little weird.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and now FN, because I think he sees that his Emperor is having trouble, and I feel like he's feeling the pressure that he has to actually deal damage in this game because of that, and he should transition as well since they have a Tricore on the side of Empire. Still an Armlet. I quite like it. I feel like he has to be able to scale in this game, otherwise they will get outscaled by this Tricore pushing lineup quite significantly.
Looking towards Immersion again. 2 of them can do this. It's kind of tricky.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Thank God they moved Cripple to level 4. Because those would have probably been some easier kills.
It's very close to having those level 4 walls, and the first Necro book has now been done for Petu, so...
And now we'll see what the decision is. I don't think they can defend this tower at all. They have to be pre-set up, as we mentioned earlier, for the side of Live to Win to defend these towers. Tidaner in no realms of being able to set up there, so top tower is just dead, and might even just find a kill. Merge. Be okay.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So instead, they just push bottom, match that because they couldn't send the Tidehunter up top because he had no mana or anything like that. Next tower, though, tier 1, they're gonna have to defend mid. Afterlife. He has the Soul Ring, he has Faded Brooch. He should have managed to just park in front of that tower.
Dream he just poked at Gwyn, showing that he wasn't quite 6. He only just hit 6, but it was too late. You know, he wasn't 6 before, couldn't have a Remnant prepared. And he pokes at Gwyn as the DD's picked up. Maybe he was trying to go for the Slight and DD steal, but he couldn't do it. This game continues to look very rough for the Ember.
It really is, and they're just starting to snowball here for the Storm Spirit. He's going to have such a fast Orchid this game, and that's going to counter majority of the heroes on this Live to Win lineup. Sure, they have the Kraken and the DK, which can sustain, but everyone else is very vulnerable. They'll hold the push, though, at the very least with the DK and the Tidehunter rotating in, and they might actually find the Lycan.
That's it. He's going to try and get out with the ult. Oh, he's away. No, he's not. Slight fist for Dream. Take him out there. Good job that Dream does indeed have that slight max this game.
Okay. So they did exactly what they need to do on Live to Win. Secure this, back up, get themselves some catch-up farm. And now you just have to play a little bit more of a defensive game on Live to Win. Let them make the moves. Nyx can go hunt around and give information, and you guys can catch back up. In particular, just watch when the Storm gets Orchid. You should be pretty certain that he's close to it because of how dominant his earliest game's been. So just Live to Win have to play a little bit passively, not too far up. FN is kind of deep right now.
They've got to be very smart who sort of shows on lanes. Huge amount of kill potential now from Gwyn. Especially Dream. Dream's got to be so cautious how he pushes out and make sure that he's quick on the buttons to jump to that Remnant before Storm's able to come out of the ball lightning and silence him. But
it's gonna happen now. It's 11 minutes, 50 seconds. Gwyn has it finished, and they already see the Ember top with this ward. So he might just TP and set up for him almost immediately.
It's going to be tempting.
Let's see if Immersion reads it.
Yeah, Gwyn's straight over.
Immersion's the one to counter gank it. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to read this at all. They do not have much information.
No, not especially coming from a smoke as well from Gwyn. This is
moving over though. FN is also in the area. Let's see if they can though.
I think they're going to be able to burst him. As Gwyn, he's got the damage. It's Dream down again.
Oh, he's a little low mana, though. Can they catch on the retreat? Nope.
Yeah, they've got extra backup coming in as well. If LtW do try and fight, this Empire's going to be ready to return the aggression as they'll look towards Immersion. They'll take him out. FN's got to run.
So he was trying so hard to get the Hex. Can't quite catch up to him. But that's FN. That's a DK form. It's an Arcane Rune at the very least, but DK form just kind of wasted. They didn't get anything out of it. And this Jug just continues to get all the space in the world. Smiling Knight, farming.
Such a difference between what he's going to be able to get done this game compared to Dream. I mean, you know, Dream 251, not an easy hero to play from behind. Petu will get the ult off. They've got the control. Good move here from LtW as they are being able to do this a few times now, sort of finding Petu alone and having no trouble taking him down.
Yeah, they fully countered this Lycan with the draft for the most part with their picks, and they look like they're going to actually try to pressure this here. DK forms up in 10 seconds. There's an ET to defend, though. They have to be a little careful how they go for these push plays.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But with their tide also, they're feeling a bit confident, and they're getting Dream caught up in farm too. Well, he just goes to the opposite side of the map. But yeah, here's the ET. Can he actually slow it down?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's hard to get in here whilst Afterlife has the Ravage. Immersion scout out Eknart as they're going to look to just run him down, take him out. Seneco's TPing over, but actually thinking twice about it. Eknart is able to move away far enough for LtW not to be tempted to continue chasing.
Always really nice for the supports when you see, this is earlier of course, but when Petu popped the Lycan ult top, now you don't have to worry about Lycan ult for such a long time every time that does happen. This ward top though, still another person, Seneco.
Gwyn coming in with a very large full line in there from a mile off, and oh no! I mean, they may get Eknart, but he wasn't the target. He was not the one that they were hoping to catch there with that Ravage. As Afterlife will even get Eknart. He might not. He's not going to even get him. Eknart's able to make it away. That's one of those Ravages that hurts.
Immediately when that Ravage happens, I feel like you want to just, like, you can reset. Immersion, they might be able to find this catch here, but they can reset and push a tower now. There's no Ravage. The threat of the Ravage is the biggest thing that's making them be more hesitant to actually just force these towers down. They're going to go straight mid. Shaman wards are up. I'd be surprised if they don't just commit for it here.
Stupendous.
Well, they're actually going to give respect because the Ember there. So, okay, Empire. Back up. You have to refarm, and I feel like LtW, even though they use this Ravage, maybe they don't get punished for it. They do have a lot of time to take advantage of it, though. 100 seconds.
Oh, we're going to see this Ravage again in glorious slow-mo.
Oh, no. Don't do it to the man.
No, I mean, you can see it was tempting, you know, sure. Gwyn's low on mana. Feel that maybe you're going to be able to trip him up. Or at least, you know, have the reach to get him after he zips. That wasn't the case. Grim, straight out.
They're baiting the Blink Dagger on FN.
Oh,
full stop.
Stop down. Into the ult. The Shaman, the wards as well. It's perfectly trapped. FN is in the middle of it all, and Gwyn's going to be able to come and offer up the extra damage. Omni Slash as well from Smiling Knight, taking down FN. And now with the Blade Fury, they'll look to chase down Afterlife, and they're going to be able to get him. Double kill for Gwyn. Empire doing an excellent job in these fights as Gwyn's game just getting better and better. 6-0-3 for him. And this Jugs farm, Smiling Knight, it just continues as their cores are looking to be in a very good place right now.
And I cannot believe LtW jumped in that location there. No Ravage up, and they just jump outside of their tower area. All they want to do really is just defend these towers when they do have this Ravage, and they just make an insane jump forward and put themselves in a really tough place to fight. They can't fight without Ravage. They can't defend these towers without it. 20 seconds. Empire take advantage of the fact that it was whiffed.
Yep.
And get a ton on the map.
Yeah, they've got to be so careful with those Ravages, as you say. As each time Empire will
positioning after.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to use if the Ravage gets whiffed, you have to just make the decision of just, like, slow poking at that tower. You can't commit for a kill if you think there's any way that you get turned up.
The line's been drawn down bottom. And they're coming over to this half of the map, but still Dream in this vulnerable position where he hasn't quite got the Yules complete. They've got to be very careful on the Ember. They want to go for Stay. They should be able to find it underneath the tower. And they're going to get away with that. Empire not set up to do anything in return.
Yep. Seneko been down here for the majority of the game, pretty close to his Crimson Guard. Actually, he has it done, so he'll have a good counter at least to be able to block out some of the damage from the summons that's come, and also blocks a decent amount of damage overall in the fights versus Omni Slash and everything, pretty decent. So that'll help them actually in the fights. And with Ravage, they're still pretty threatening. We're seeing Empire set up now. Eknart quite low on mana though. Only has 140 to work with.
Oh, Gwyn. He's paying out some responses here as he goes straight in onto Dream. The Earthsplitter is going to be totally whiffed there off to the side. Seiyu dies underneath the tower. Petty trying to come in on the Dream. Dream's going for the TP out. He's away. He's able to make it out of there. See if the rest of LtW can also get themselves back to safety. Smiling Light chasing down. He has an Omni Slash ready to go, and here he pops it. Straight over, but they're able to split the damage rather nicely. Ravage comes out onto the three of them. They're trying to turn. FN with the armlet toggle, keeping himself alive as Gwyn goes down. See if they can get more for this LtW. FN, he's standing his ground against Smiling Knight. He kites him back with the Dragon Tail stun. FN's going to be fine. LtW, they can look to turn and try and chase down these cores. Impale off the mark as Smiling Light is off to the side, but the change from Dream catches the two of them. It's a double kill for Dream. They're going to be able to find Petu as well as LtW, able to turn that fight round beautifully around this time. An excellent Ravage from Afterlife.
This time they get the setup, and this time it's Empire doing a crazy zip forward. The Elder Titan had 0 mana, Eknart. It was
a wild start.
Whiffed. That was the only spell he really had inside the fight till later on when he regened a bit. Seiyu, he died, TP'd back in, gets stunned, died, gets 0 spells off. So they kind of are just missing their 2 supports in the fight and chasing very far forward into a Ravage. FN with some clutch little plays there with his armlet toggles, and Seneko with the TP in and Crimson guarding his whole team during the Omni Slash. So great fight and great reset of positioning from... It's just a weird fight from Empire. Seiyu, I feel bad for Seiyu. Literally just dies back to back without casting a spell.
It's going to slow down his ether lens quite a bit. I just said it. He's still nearly got it. Probably, he would have had it otherwise.
Big win there, though, for LtW. That was right after they got a couple item timings. Now they're going to get the next ones finished up. Yule's on Ember. DK approaching that... BKB, sorry.
Blink on Afterlife. They've got a lot to enable themselves next time round. 50 seconds to the Ravage, and that's sort of 50 seconds. Well, we'll see if Empire are going to be able to get anything done. And right now, they themselves more focused on trying to get their big items done on their cores. Make sure Smiling Knight has his Manta finished for the next fight.
They got to just farm and catch up right now. But the scariest thing about this is when it's LtW to get that fight location too with the Ravage, right? Ravage is down for all this time, but there's no way that Empire can take advantage of it. They have to push their lanes all the way back out to try to look for anything here. So by the time they get to the next fight, Ravage is up, DK ult is up, LtW will be prepared for it. So they have to get their next item. Gwyn, he'll have the BKB, hopefully for them for the next fight, but it's going to be much tougher as they're hunting. Eknart.
Oh, they found the jump. Ravage as well. Afterlife catches the three of them into the Impale. It happened so quickly, but it couldn't have been done any better there. I mean, they were not ready for that at all.
No. And now they have the Seneko Greater Treants as well, too.
Yeah.
Roche is going to go down so fast. That was beautiful. The blink reveal instantly. As soon as Ravage comes up, almost the moment that it came up, they get the opportunity. Game looking hard now for Empire with these last few situations, and with the frequency of the fights, it's always going to be determined by Ravage.
Just a bit of sloppiness there from Empire, getting heavily punished.
Yep.
But the next play is going to be from Empire, as this game only going to get harder here with that Aegis. And again, I mean, even with the Aegis there, they're still going to have that window where the Ravage is down for 80 seconds. But they'll want to do something about that.
They have to, I feel like, because I feel like any moment that this gets, every moment gets much worse.
Oh, hang on.
Dream actually just jumps right in. Okay.
Oh, he's just ended up in the middle of them. He's got the Aegis, so maybe part of the plan. That is if he can get out, and he can. Remnant's out, he's away. I mean, hey, I guess, you know, puts a stop to the smoke movement, and you lost your Aegis.
It gives you time to get your Ravage back, right? After, like, keep farming up. there's so much damage block that I did love the way that the panel was talking about it with the armor from DK and the armor from the Tidehunter. There's so much physical resistance, and the Crimson Guard too from the Nature's Prophet, and then the Anchor Smash and Breathe Fire. I feel like Empire might be running into some damage issues. They have a lot of things that they do need to tick off next few moments. BKBs are at the ready, at least on FN. Taneko with the split push. You know, that shard, as we love so much, it's going to start really pushing down those towers, as he's already been pressuring the side lanes a lot this game. Oh, he'll even get a courier. Look at that. 1-2 hits. And they're swinging over for him. This man's going to come out, but Gwyn.
They've got the backup. They're straight in with the Dragon Tail stun onto Gwyn. Gwyn's gone. A perfect bait from Taneko. Whereas Empire, you know, they were sort of around, but they weren't quite close enough. Live to Win were much closer. And they get in and they're ready to start poking at the high ground. Gwyn's dead for 30. And FN, he's just going in even deeper. FN, he jumps over. He's got the catch onto Eknart. Eknart's dying inside the base. Live to Win playing with some fast plays here. That's just really catching Empire split up and off guard.
And now that, what can they do versus the Siege? These juggernauts in the front line, if you try to get any type of fight, you're just going to get Blink Ravaged, Blink followed up. They may have to just stack this. 9 seconds still for the Storm Spirit. ET for 15. This Rax is dead.
23-minute Rax here. Very good timing for Live to Win.
Oof, that hurts. Now they go bet to pick up another round of items. Everyone gets to finish up what they were queuing up earlier. And the damage issues are going to get worse and worse. And Ravage is still up during all this now, too. Sure, there's no DK form, but it's not going to take that long. Let's see if Empire can try to hit it all back.
Yeah.
Because it's really just snowballed out of control here in these last few moments.
And I don't know if you mentioned it, but do you like this from Afterlife? I feel like he's just having a good time right now.
Yeah, I saw him cube Satanic, right?
Yeah. Blink Satanic. Let's go. I mean, I guess what you pop the active, you press Anchor Smash, you're guaranteed 100% of your HP healed, basically, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but
I feel like he could have. I feel like he could have got.
It's like a pseudo cheese, you know. He's gonna have a cheese every fight, basically. With the.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't just build for a Blads or something for his team if he has the mask. Though.
That's true. He's like, hey, screw you guys.
Like, what's the point, right? He has a DK. It'll at least give them damage, even for the Ember. Whatever. He's having fun.
I think that with the way the last 3 moves have gone, I think Live to Win are kind of feeling that. I don't know, just that they're maybe a little more awake than Empire this morning here. Well, even though it's not this morning, but you know, first game of the day, as those sort of last moves from Empire being as split up as they were, just completely collapsed on by Live to Win. So yeah, they're going to be really riding the momentum hit.
Hey, they're all just getting the items to counter all this physical damage that Empire does have, right? Even the AC is queued up now for the DK. Natural build-ups, but all these things work so well against this draft. Solar Crest Crimson on your 5 position.
FN's in, he's trying to find something, and he's found Sayu. Sayu will get the Hex out in time. Afterlife stepping up. As Sayu will fall. So they're able to get away. They get the sleep down onto the 2 of them, but it's now at a point where it's just very hard for Empire to really commit onto Live to Win's heroes. They're 8k ahead, and you can definitely feel that when you look at how tanky they are.
They just don't have the damage. Everyone is so tanky, except for Dream. He's probably the one that can get...
Oh, and over to the side, they found Petu. FN blinks in, they're able to take him out. Gwyn committing with a BKB, trying to at least find immersion. You will get the Nyx attached with the Dragon Tail stone onto the jump, follow Ravage. Smiling like he gets the blade fear off just in time.
Can he live?
But he's got to run. They're going to look to chase him out. He'll pop the Omni Slash. It will get shared between them. And that means that nobody will fall to it. Another jump from FN. He's in with the Dragon Tail stone onto Smiling Light. Smiling Light goes down. Gwyn trying to finish off Taneko. They have got the grab onto FN. Gwyn is out of mana. See if they've got enough damage to fight this as Gwyn. He's not got anything left in the tank. Can they get back in on him? They can. Afterlife. He just blinks back in. FN jumps over to Sayu. As they're all down at the moment on Empire. Live to Win. Just continue to kind of style on them with the advantage that they had. This time, there's a few casualties on the Live to Win side of things, but definitely not to the point where they're going to be concerned about how this game's going to move forward.
No, definitely not. They have now picking up those further items. They got what they came for anyway, right? The Rax was taken out, even though they did give up a couple lives. Afterlife's got his beautiful Satanic for this absurd lifesteal and damage. Sure, why not? I mean, it is a lot of damage. It
50, yeah. So. Plus 80 damage on a strength hero.
It's a lot of damage. Yeah. It is for sure. cool, whatever. I mean, I'm interested to see it. They have the AC on FN now too, and it was a decent fight for Empire, but with what they're up against at this disadvantage, you could really see those damage issues coming out there. Even when they have everything committed with an ET splitter catching in the middle of it all too. Still just missing a bit because of the items that Live to Win have built up enough to win. Ravage still on cooldown, but they're definitely feeling their strength, feeling that momentum. They're just going to jump in.
At this point,
FN's humongous.
exactly. If FN gets in with a stun,
Gwyn?
oh no.
They don't even.
Goodbye, Gwyn.
Jesus. Yeah,
And
this DK is now
Let's
level
straight over
20.
to mid as well. Dream, he's got the setup with the Yules. They're looking for Eknar. A Hex will come out to hold back Afterlife, but this tier 3 tower is going to start taking a beating.
Look at this dragon. It's attack speed.
Tearing through these buildings. They're really struggling to deal with this. They're trying to slow them down with a sleep. But they've got nothing as FN, he's just straight in. Straight in over to Eknar. Eknar down. His mid-rack's getting torn apart. And now straight to the bottom. There's no reason for Live to Win to back up. In fact, they're just going to keep on killing. Over to Petu. They get the Lycan, and they're going to call it. They know there's no coming back from this. GG is called. Celebratory Ravage there, popped by Afterlife. As Live to Win will take this game 1. I mean, it really did feel that this game just fell apart so quickly and so dramatically for Empire after what seemed like a pretty good start for Empire at the beginning of this game.
Just a really, really bad place for Empire to lose that fight. It felt like that one was the big decider, right? Bottom, Gwyn overcommits a little bit. They get ravaged, and because of the positioning of the fight,
seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
In the first game, we saw LtW be victorious against Team Empire here in the upper division for the CIS DPC League. Can they do it again? Or will Team Empire strike back? Let's find out in the second game. We got BSJ on the big screen. We got Cap and Tigov, and we got a draft coming your way between these two teams. And BSJ, I'm gonna start with you. I'm curious if there's any like big things you want to see different coming out this time around from the draft.
To be honest with you, the draft to me wasn't the issue. When the game is that even, or even in that case, Empire was up by 3K in the clip I showed prior to that team fight, I really do believe it comes down to the vision of the game. Like, you have to understand that if the Storm Spirit has to go these more defensive items or, you know, orc it into BKB, he's not going to be able to have all that much mana for damage. Your Lycan's going to be kind of neutered and damaged by the Tidehunter. And I really do chop it up to bad itemization. Like, they just need to see this coming. You can tell based on Seneco's itemization that he truly understood what needed to be taken care of at that stage in the game. And I firmly believe that if the game's about that even, one team itemizes properly, the other team doesn't, that's what happens. That's how I view Dota.
10 seconds.
All right, we got the openings on our screen now. We got the Keeper of Light Void Spirit on the side of Team Empire. LtW open up with a puck and are contemplating their second pick. This is a very different opening from the first game, T. A very different type of strategies coming out from Team Empire especially.
Yeah, I think the key difference would be that Empire now has first pick, so they're able to actually kind of get that Keeper of Light for themselves. The question is, what type of strategy are we going to see them run? Because they go for an instant Void Spirit. I know, obviously, their mid laner, he's a big fan of all the spirits, so this could easily just be, casual Void Spirit mid, and they're kind of keeping that cuddle pairing very open.
Yeah, I think his Ember Spirit, he's played as much as his second and third hero. His competitive games anyway. I think they go for the Void Spirit just because I think that's like the most valuable spirit right now in my mind anyway. And it just always seems to ban in the second phase. They've have been doing this opener of Coddle plus Medusa a lot, which you're going to see a Live to Win immediately ban away in the second phase. I think what Empire was taking some time there is going, all right, which do we value more? Because Void Spirit's definitely not going to make it into the second phase. Maybe Medusa does.
But also the heroes that they picked so far, there isn't real pressure coming out for a much greedier kind of carry from Team Empire. Shaker, he likes to be more static. He likes to play and enable his offlane. When the offlane's strong enough and he starts annoying other heroes on the map, that's where Shaker kind of soaks up that farm which is available. So these Medusas, these kind of hard to kill heroes, they kind of want to be taken away. Like even like a Bristleback from Live to Win might need to be banned out here. Just how annoying it will be. These heroes aren't ready to fight early on.
Yeah, the best way to deal with Puck Earthshaker is that they can see you and they can coil you and potentially echo slam you, and they just can't kill you. So Medusa is the perfect archetype of hero to counter what they've got going so far on Live to Win. So I do like the fact that they've done their homework, and it's also very good against their lineup. And maybe they'll be DK fits that description too. I like the way they drafted last game, and I also think their vision of the game seems pretty good from what I've seen so far.
So to stack onto that, we probably want one of the offlaner of Team Empire to be one of those like aura tanky boys. Just try and make everybody as tanky as possible.
Yeah,
it'll just enable his team, right, if they do that.
Yeah, exactly. But also for like Empire, could still be like a Beastmaster, for example, as well. The idea of just pressuring these heroes. You mentioned Vision. Beastmaster is one of the best for that. Live to Win kind of trying to soft cover themselves, I believe, from a Beast with the CM pick. I think that'd be, I think Beast would just open up this game for Empire.
And failing that, it's still really good for Shaker Puck, so.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, you want to talk about frontlining heroes, Brian. Heroes that just don't really give a damn if they're gone on. Coddle and Bristleback is a duo, and I know you love Bristleback right now.
Yeah, Bristleback is definitely on the board for Team Empire. I would not mind that. It's such a good enabler with the Coddle. Usually you have to go for these raging items. Usually you're limited by the fact that you can't accelerate yourself with your like treads early on, but that's what Coddle does for you as they do sure up their bit of catch problems. I like the Disruptor because it gives them follow-up to the Void Spirit, Yule Scepter, Ether Remnant, but also whoever you're committing onto, the Earthshaker can't counter-initiate with Echo Slam because you can lay the static field on top of it.
It also does show that the Coddle will be that position for most likely, and we're going to be looking for an off-lane combo for the Keeper of the Light, unlike normally where we get to see it kind of in the safe lane.
Yep, so far they have gone for the Darkseer Earth Spirit combination, and then they just... No, that's not true. Yeah. That was Coddle as a 5 though, so that's different. My bad.
When they're the ones deciding exactly what they want to reveal here. They have last pick in the draft, so of course we can easily kind of identify like the flexible cores available. They could even go for another Ember. Is that still available? Yeah, Ember's
it
still
is.
there.
More spirits.
Yep.
Team pick.
More Ursa Bears. Do we like this core reveal from Live to Win here? See a lot of frowny faces.
No, they're pretty light on stuns on the side of Team Empire right now. Yeah, the Disruptor's nice because you AoE silence, but heroes like Ursa Troll, as long as they're attacking, they don't really care if they're silenced. So all they've really got so far, theoretically, is the Yule Scepter, Ether Remnant for him. It's also very good against these heroes that like to stand still, so it covers their bases there.
There it is.
And there's the Bristle, and I was going to say that Ursa is very nice against that, but it'll supply them with the critical damage threshold that they have to hit to bring this big boy down. So I like it. This is so important in drafting, is knowing what your previous heroes might struggle against. And it's like, okay, they're going to pick Bristle, fine, but we've already got the tools to deal with it. It's not some perfect Bristle game. I don't like fault the pick coming out from Team Empire, but by no means was Live to Win not prepared for this.
I think you have to look at it slightly different if you're like coming from the drafted Team Empire, because of course Ursa to Bristle, you know, Ursa loves that, but Bristle into the CM, the Shaker, the Puck, he's going to have a completely free game. And that's where they're trying to play around the fact that the heroes that enable Ursa to find the farm won't be able to really muscle up into him. So as long as they keep that pressure up, Ursa's always going to be saying, guys, I need to farm this item, I need to get to this stage. And of course, that's putting your team on a timer, but it does give Empire that ability to play strong lanes, flood the map, and to do what they did in that previous game where they had 50 minutes of great kind of showing, but then they fell off. This time, they shouldn't be able to fall off until the point where the Ursa comes online. And if he's got no map, that could easily be 20, 25 minutes and Roshan secured. You don't really care about Ursa anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad they banned the Venomancer. That was going to be like my first go-to. It's like, I feel like if this Ursa has a bad laning phase, he's just going to be wanting for more and more and more. Like you're going to get this Battle Fury and you're going to be farming up Ancients, but they're going to gobble up so much of the map with a Bristleback Venomancer. So I like the fact they banned that. On top of that, it's another one of the aura items for the...
So what do we want to see as far as mid laners go? I feel like Void Spirit obviously still a little bit up in the air, but I think Gwynblight will probably end up playing that.
Yeah.
So what does well against that? Or do we want to see, I guess, Puck mid? What are we lacking?
Oh, I still want to see the Beastmaster for Empire, but Live to Win, they do give it that final ban. A hero in the offlane that can apply some pressure, but can basically start setting the pace of this is how we're going to start hitting objectives. Because Empire, they're happily going to run around and start picking off these squishy heroes. But when they look at a tower, they're kind of like, maybe in 5 minutes when the catapult comes down the lane. And I think that's what they need. They need that hero that can actually move around the objectives too.
We still have Mars in the pool as far as tanky offlaners go, but Brewmaster is one of them as well.
Doesn't really hit the buildings, so they are going to have a bit of an issue when they look at these towers and go, how are we taking you?
Excuse me, sir. Earth Spirit has Demolish.
How dare you?
I'm so sorry, Capitalist.
Also, Brewmaster, I mean, you're relying so much on this Ursa that I wanted some big team fight spell, and the fact that Brewmaster comes with a way to just kind of kick that Ursa out of the fight, that's great.
Yeah. Now, what is
no better way to stun him than to just make him not exist in the fight. It's a great way to deal with when they only have one beefy guy, like Earthshaker, Puck, CM are all enabled by this Ursa when he's running into the middle of the fight. So Brewmaster, that's really what he's thrives at, is just that single target removal into focus somebody else.
Maybe Live to Win go for like a casual Kunkka just to end it. You put the offlane Puck, Vessel by like Pangolin. Okay, cool, nice. Like they needed some team fight. I was going to think about a Vessel buy potentially, but some big presence in the fight. So they put the mid Puck and offlane Pangolin. I don't know how much work the Pangolin is going to do in the offlane. He's going to be kind of like a recovery hero, where when Empire start grouping objectives, that's where he'll come in and really try and utilize his team fight. But a rough start to the early game from Live to Win, I think. They'll scale better, but there will be a big window where Empire can just mark their territory.
All right, Brian, final words from you.
I actually think Pangolier's laning stage right now has gotten way better. You just usually rush bottle Orb of Corrosion in the off lane if you're having a rough lane. And I think they needed some team fight disruption. I liked your suggestion of Kunkka, but in this case, Kunkka could kind of just be the hero brew focused and lifted up in the air. But Pango, with that magic immunity running in there, you can consistently stun the Bristle. You can like disrupt the back line so that they can focus the Bristle with the Ursa. I really like this last pick. I like Live to Win's vision again, and I'm really liking them in game 2.
All right. Thank you very much. Kat.
I'm going to be sticking with Live to Win just because the performance that we saw from Empire in game 1 was pretty disappointing to me. My biggest concern for Live to Win is Pango, if he doesn't have a good laning phase, Void Spirit is very annoying to play against because he's one of those heroes that can get on top of you really easily and 100 to 0. So I would be concerned if Afterlife, if he doesn't have that start and then just becomes more and more like farmed out by the Void Spirit, then they're not going to have that hero really.
Yeah, we saw Gwynblight have a fantastic game in the first one around. If he does the same thing here?
I think Empire, they doubled down on early aggression and trying to kind of prove to everyone watching that they can play a strong 15 minutes and they can actually enter the mid game. So I want to see them do well with these heroes, but again, Live to Win, they're kind of the better strategists, so I think they'll probably take it, but my hope is Empire shows up.
All right, well, let's see if Empire shows up, and I think that a lot of people at home also want Empire to show up, because that means we will have a third game to the series, but perhaps Live to Win will take this as a clean 2-0. Let's find out what's going to happen together with our commentary team of OD Pixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Shiva and D. Let's find out how things are going to go down here in Game 2 between Team Empire and Live to Win. Folks, we've heard from the panel, you know, looking at what they have this time round, maybe questions of if they are going to be able to keep that pressure from the beginning and not let it slip away like they did in Game 1. Do you see them being able to do that, or do you think they've got a hard game ahead of them, Empire?
I love Bristleback. I think this is probably one of the stronger heroes of the patch, especially when you can get it paired with Coddle. However, I do feel like they're way too dependent on this Brewmaster for fighting. I feel like one or two bad splits in the game, it's one of the longer cooldowns. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds early on. Sure, once you get later, you have your two. Once you get your Ags, but that's way later down the line. And I feel like the frequency that Live to Win can fight is just going to be so much faster. I feel like this Brewmaster is he's going to be unable to fight at this frequency, and they're going to probably just be unable to actually defend their towers and defend versus the Drosh. And there's just too much fight on Live to Win for Empire to really handle, I feel like.
See if
unless this Bristol really gets the ball rolling and he causes so much distraction for this Brew to get everything off. But I'm still really feared for this Brew because there's a lot of ways for them to just control him too. Shaker, Puck, Pango, a lot of different amounts of silence and control.
A loss so small.
We're gonna see with those wards down again. Empire trying to avoid having the Bristol into the Ursa. Against this aggression that we're gonna have on this top lane. We'll see if I would imagine one of them is gonna head down to help the Ursa out. No need to have that tri-lane set up, and yeah, they'll have the CM down there to back up the Ursa.
So they fissure block the top wave to have it meet under the tower so that it's going to push out forward so then they can play aggressive on the top laner with the Shaker and the Pango afterwards. And it's going to guarantee Afterlife a good start. And they got the lane that they actually predicted. They got the stick on Afterlife, so he's versus this Bristol who's in the safe lane. Empire.
Oh, that's true, actually, yeah.
With their lanes anyway.
Yeah. And, you know, so as Brian was saying, he was a fan of the Pango to finish off. Do you think this is a pretty nice game for the Pangolier?
Love Pango versus these supports that can do literally nothing to you. Coddle and Disruptor they can't. Most of the times you're going to be swooping in with your ult on. Neither of them really can watch you. And it feels like it's a really good just follow up for the Puck, follow up for the Earthshaker too. It's just got a lot of team fight. And it's a hero that I think is just really strong right now. I think some teams are afraid to pick it because it can be very like feast or famine. You can have an amazing game or you can have this useless game. I think this is one of the stronger offlaners because he just sets you up to counter the potential for illusions, the potential for summons, which feel like it's a big thing in this patch. Bottom.
No, they're able to catch the Nako. A little too far forward. Dream trying to trade back onto Petu, but at this level, near enough damage to really threaten the Brew alone.
Decent lane though. Disruptor and Brew. Doesn't seem like one of the stronger ones, but Disruptor Nuke, very strong early on. Same thing for that Cinder Brew. And they do trigger each other. Not too bad, especially versus a slow hero like CM. Whenever they see Sineko out of position, they can kill him. Mid, I feel like this is probably the more boring matchup. They're both just going to be able to farm here. Maybe Void Spirit takes advantage a bit more, depending on who gets rune control, but it's farm lane.
4-minute runes important between these two. Something like a DD or a haste or an arcane. Any of those sort of the offensive runes definitely give potential for a kill.
Whenever you get a lane like this as Pango, it feels so nice. You have Shaker backing you up to reset the lane positioning, and also there's no kill threat really. Unless you massively misplay with the Swashbuckle, you're always going to be able to get farm up here.
So life is pretty much got the Orb of Corrosion done, so just that extra damage and control to really make the Bristol play rather careful up here. Smiling Knight trying to chase down Immersion. Will I'm going any further. And
oh, his wave though. Will he miss any of these last hits? He's got a whole wave under his tower. It looks like he should be able to get at least one or two at the quilt. Oh, he missed both. Oh no. Poor Bristle.
Yeah, his farm falling behind a little bit compared to that of Afterlife. 21-1 on the Pango. Definitely set that lane up to have a better time here on Radiant.
And I see Orb of Corrosion, right, with the Lucky Shot. I'm seeing a lot of frail heroes on the side of Empire. Brewmaster, your tankiest one. And Brewmaster is not a hero really who is that tanky when he's not in his split. Requires a bit of items. Has used 3 armor. Doesn't build up that fast either. There's going to be some frontline issues, I feel like, for the side of Empire with this Pango getting such a good start and them having just insane amounts of damage on this Live to Win draft. Just from their spells, from their toolkit, heroes are going to get 100 to 0'd.
4-minute runes in play. Stu's able to control them. Sineko is teeping out of here. Up top, Immersion will be able to secure the FN. And sort of as you say in the fight, you know, sort of the worries about how they frontline. I mean, is the Bristol just that you don't think Live to Win will care about the Bristol because they'll be able to sort of fight around him even if he does get items?
I think they just have a lot of control for him, which can be scary. You run in and you're facing the wrong direction. You get chain stunned and Ursa gets on you. The Pango rolls in forward. They will have the damage shield to clear him out if he doesn't get too early of an advantage. He is struggling a bit in this early game. If he gets his Vanguard and like his hood, then sure, he's going to be this absolute monster, but might not get to that point where he's able to get these things so freely.
I mean, is there going to be an issue with how quickly this Bristol's going to be able to farm in comparison to an Ursa that, you know, if this Ursa does get a good timing on the Battle Fury? You know, we're not seeing anything happen around the Ancients quite yet, but if they don't have stacks right, this Bristol can't compete in sort of ability to scale.
Absolutely. I've actually been watching Seiyu. That was the first time he stacked. I feel like he should have stacked a little bit earlier in this matchup just because of how the lanes kind of were going, and Smiling Knight's not really at risk of dying too much up here once he's got this start. I feel like he should really just be focused about stacking. Even bottom. Like, they should just be stacking even on the Disruptor. This 0 stacks.
If that does change over time, what moves we start to have from Gwyn is
FN6. He still has the haste rune. He's going to look to make the move. It's a tanky Bristle, but he's quite isolated.
Dropping the Dream Core down, making sure they've got every bit of burst to take him out. They take a bit of damage in return for the Quills, but not enough to lose anyone there. Bottom one, nice little snipe there from Eknart, as Dream did kind of need that salve.
He really did. And then we just see the toolkit. The spells alone are enough to kill the Bristle without many right clicks. Seneko will make the move bottom as well to match support, but a much bigger kill on a Bristle. Pango's 6 now. Scary lane top for the Bristle now. As any rotation, kill him as bottom though.
Dream's looking pretty vulnerable here. Say that though, Gwyn. Okay, doesn't want to go for it. Did he have the 2 steps? Okay, he only had the 1
He only had
step.
the 1.
He only had the 1. It would have been a little risky to put himself in that position for the kill.
They were close to getting the glimpse. Eknart was just about to get it, but now Kato will take the mid lane. We see, I believe, Earthshaker. We see Immersion scouting out the stacks. I think he just another 2 triple stacks there, so we might see maybe invade with the next coil and next Pango ulti. That would be disastrous.
Oh, if they lose the stacks. I mean, what you're saying? Well, with the Pango, it's not too hard to get in it. I mean, it looks like they're going to start clearing them now.
They got to start clearing them now. Yeah, I think this is the right choice.
Well, they'll be able to do so. They got level 6, 3 points in the Quills. He's got the Ring of Health, so easily tanky enough to deal with these neutrals. There we go. All the items being found, and a good burst of cash and XP there for Smiling Knight.
Much needed. Much needed. He was falling a little bit behind. He doesn't have any Ancient stacks, so he does have at least 1 more of these hard camp stacks, but no Ancients would really enable him up even more. But he's doing way better than Dream. Like, this Ursa is really getting punished down here from this Brewmaster and Disruptor. CM can't really back him up nearly as well. Top looks like they will probably find Seiyu.
Oh. Tries to pop a salve as well to keep himself alive.
Is that how it works?
This is an absurdly farmed Pango. I'm curious what he go. I actually kind of want to see like a Diffusal or something because he's playing versus Brew and Bristol.
Oh, that's
a Diffusal
not bad.
can actually own so hard if he gets it because he's just off to such a good start. I think he has a lot of options.
I mean, you've still got to go the Javelin.
I think you might.
I don't think you skip the Javelin, even if you are feeling like you're gonna at least leave that in the build.
I would love to. If he did go for the Diffusal though, I would like, go give him a hug. He's gonna go for the safer play, the Yules versus the Disruptor.
Oh, disappointment.
Versus the control. Not gonna go for his big carry. He has the Ursa for the damage, but I would have loved to see him do it because just because of how ahead he really is. It would ruin the whole draft of him. Bristol's just he'll go for the safer. Cool. They are setting up. Bruce Split is online.
They want to defend this tower. And the TP's in, are going to certainly send Live to Win back. They'll retreat, but they're not able to catch anyone there. And that did have pretty much the full lineup of Empire coming up to push them away.
Oh, the dream for Seneko. Look at this Crystal Maiden now farming bottom. Oh, no, Bristle TP. No. But a full rotation top. They hold the tower, but it's still quite low. FN is
still going to go down.
They have a tower. Yeah, they still have the ward behind the tower. So these two have to be very cautious when everyone else does show Gwyn TP on cooldown. Afterlife.
Tower's still looking very dead.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay.
Easy deny there from Eknart.
And they see Gwyn rotating top through this ward that they have in the river, so they're going to back up, give it respect.
He knows that they're around. So
Dream getting time to catch up on the Ursa. He's pretty much caught back up. He's of course behind the Bristle, but that's just because of how much Smiling Knight was enabled. But he'll be able to catch up at a decent margin here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And what would you kind of want to see on the carry Bristle after this basis of the phase Vanguard? What you get in the S and Y? Okay, so just continue an attack. Okay.
I think you just go your Eternal Shroud, the best item in the game on Bristle. I'd be surprised if he doesn't buy. That item is insane.
Exactly.
It feels like
yeah,
it's made
for sure.
Bristle.
I mean, as a position one, you're not upgrading that hood to a pipe, are you? So the
Shroud always feels weird because it just has such good merits too. Because then you have mana if they do go for any mana burning stuff, and it gives you the spell life steal. It gives you everything.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
Dire are scared.
Still making very good time with it. Top of the network. Still Smiling Knight. Bottom lane Snakeo. Easy kill here. DD.
Use both steps. Fen. Looking to defend here. Smiling Knight is going to start poking, and he's tanky. He does have his cloak on him though, so magic damage still hurts. But 1800 HP with max pistol back. Immersion shows himself.
Oh, he's looking very dead here.
Sure is.
He steps out, and Smiling Knight's just able to reach in and get that goo upon him. Yeah, they're not holding onto this tower. And Live to Win are going to have to let this one go.
If Afterlife isn't there, there's no way you're going to fight her. He's your strongest hero right now. They might get the glimpse. Eknart, not 6th yet.
Radiant's bottom tower.
After the creeps do die. Bit unfortunate. Side of Empire. Maybe able to get a kill if he was the 6th.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They got more stacks
Quickly
to clean.
swinging over. Snakeo. Yeah, and a lot more stacks to clean up. And Snakeo, he spots them. Just die for it. Nice little sweep by Empire. Taking bottom, immediately making the move mid, defending, holding onto their tower, and also protecting their stacks. Some good moves, getting themselves a 2k gold lead now on this 2k experience as well.
Yeah, I mean, their stat game has actually been pretty good. You know, despite at the beginning, seeming like not many H's going on, but as we saw there, a great amount of stacks have been achieved. Empire definitely knowing what needs to be done here to make sure that Smiling Knight has as good of a game as they need him to, as to carry Bristle.
I'm really curious what he builds next.
I
think you're right. Eternal Shroud,
a little more difficult. Yeah, that's what I would think, but he hasn't queued it up, which is always, it means that he's probably going to be going for something bigger, but I was wondering what it could actually be in this game.
I mean, what are sort of the other quintessential items for the carry Bristle?
I mean, it's only S and Y or Halberd. That's the only thing. Yeah, he queues up S and Y.
Well, you want S and Y and then Abyssal, right? You want Abyssal.
Yeah. Like one or the other. It's S and Y or Halberd into the Abyssal Blade, and then you get your Ag Shard. The hairball is actually really strong. I've seen it multiple times now in game. They're getting it really farmed. Yeah. These stacks.
So many stacks.
Doing a great job.
It's going to take a bit of time for the Cersei, with the Battle Fury to catch up. It's, Dream, how close is he? Still about 100 gold off that Battle Fury. Quite there.
Split bottom, but Afterlife. Oh, he gets caught at the end of it.
He does. They get him just as it comes to an end with the glimpse. And Afterlife, he's going to have a swashbuckle again in a second. He's out.
No way.
Oh, and he's actually away. Actually gets away. Oh, my goodness. Even with that drag back after the TP, they couldn't quite get him. Mid-immersion. He's not away.
Very nice recall from Seiyu, but 2 ults expended bottom and not getting the Pango kill. And those, it's the long duration primal split, or long cooldown primal split as mid.
That's a very dead Gwynblade. Not ready for them.
Ooh, that's rough.
Coming in from the high ground. We'll see Empire.
Top, another recall.
They can run down Dream. No, they don't want to go hunting in the trees. They'll let him be.
Structures are fortified.
80 seconds, no primal split. Pango ult is going to be up in about 3 seconds. Live to Win can look to fight around this tower. I think they can actually stop Smiling Knight from pushing this with their whole squad. FN, can you get enraged for a blink coil? It's still on cooldown. If they could get him under the tower there, that's a dead bristle, 100%. Very close for Smiling Knight.
Still poking around his Smiling.
Yeah, they start to back away though. FN, he left the vicinity and he's the one to catch. The rest of it, okay, Empire is starting to make their way over. They have Disruptor ult in 8. Still no split for 40.
They get a glimpse. Oh, they're in. Afterlife, he's trying to get away. He's rolling up and he's able to get it off. As he's going to turn, crash through all of them with the stun. He's actually going to go back in again. He's in a bit of a risky position here, and he's dead. I would have thought he would have had the chance to roll away, but he opted to go back in and get another bounce off.
Has fallen.
Yeah, that was, especially because he'd already been glimpsed. So if he just rolls out and then he just swashbuckles out, he might have a high chance of living there. But sticks around. I guess just wanted to make space for FN to take the mid tower, but pays with his life.
Radiant's top tower.
Nice smoke by Empire. And they will have Bruce split now for the next engagement because they didn't have it there when they were making the big move. And a recall bottom.
Oh, instantly onto Dreamer. Dreamer's still got Enrage on cooldown. 10 seconds, so he doesn't have a lot to protect himself. And with no tower down here, no way for the rest of the team to join him. Should be a slow, painful death here for Dreamer's Empire. These moves with Sayu just a little too quick for Live to Win to react to, and they've got to be careful when they're pushing out these lanes alone, as this Keeper of the Light +1 will be there every time to shut them down.
Sayu is the absolute MVP right now in this game. Look at his net worth too. He's making moves around all over, but also while doing it, he's stacking. So that's why his net worth is so inflated. He's getting so much stack gold for himself. He's really dictating the whole pace of this game right now with these recalls and with these constant shockers on his teammates. They're just swooping from lane to lane.
Afterlife.
Fight. Afterlife.
It's kind of chilling it.
Under attack.
They don't want to go on him though, as he's still got the ult. Eknar not quite having Static Storm available yet, as Afterlife will manage to get the Thunder off. See if this time he does roll himself out to safety. I imagine he will. As okay, yeah, he's still up. He's up. He's away. He's fine. This time he'll get out of there.
No, they're just trying to play the farm and avoid game until they have their big fight ready, until they have Immersion Blink Dagger online, until they have the puck with, I guess, the Desto and all that. Probably mostly the Immersion Blink that they're waiting on, which he's actually scanned. He might get found over here.
Oh.
But yeah, they're just buying time. Look at FN too, cutting the mid.
It's close. Oh.
Look at top two. Look at Afterlife. Look at their positioning. It's just really about avoiding until they
Win might
Blink.
find him though. Oh, he tries to make a guess for it.
Avoiding them. Avoid the bristle. Avoid these recalls until you have that blink. Immersion, he's gonna have it done pretty much now. And then I'd imagine their look fight. Sure, the Ursa still is in farm mode, but they're very strong with their 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Live to Win can just make sure not to give up too much more and let the game go on for 20 more minutes, get this Ursa, 5 or 6 slotted, this Ursa's going to have a very solid chance at carrying this game against Empire's hero. Sure, the Bristol's going to be strong, but once this Ursa's got like BKB Abyssal, he goes on any of the other 4 heroes and they're just going to die every time.
And they're going to have, let's see, -5 armor from Lucky Shot, -3 from Overcorrosion, that's 8, and it's also on FN soon. So it's going to be -15 armor being applied to everybody in these fights too. Sayu.
Oh,
he actually brings Gwyn.
He does bring Gwyn in. Sayu's actually going to live for now. They're able to cancel the ults for Neko. Sayu's still alive. They weren't able to kill him off. They're going to get the vision on Dream. They drag him back with a glimpse. They put a stop to his escape. As Dream, has he got any help? There's no one that can help him here. Dream goes down. Quick moves from Empire as Live to Win that they try and get aggressive onto this Keeper of the Light, but they've got to be careful. If someone's getting recalled in, it will quickly get turned around.
Sayu's just dancing on them, really. Again, makes another phenomenal play, even though he's a defensive one. He gets a nice recall, brings the rest of his teammates in too with TPs. And Live to Win just continuing to just farm up, split push. Get stacks going, just waiting and waiting.
Oh,
still not feeling like they're ready to fight, as
Eknar with the courier is going to find Afterlife. Does have Static Storm, and they've got TP cancel as well. Gwynblide's in. canceling the TP. By some time with the self-fuels, he's got a swashbuckle up. Rolling Thunder in a couple of seconds. We're going to have another spell to throw out at him. Oh, he's not. Afterlife's away.
He's going to get away.
Yeah, he's going to be safe for sure. They can't chase this far.
Space.
Mid, Smiling Knight. He's ready to start diving towers here, feeling pretty strong as the Bristol as he's in. And Fisher, was he going to save Suneko? He frostbites him to hold him back. He's not going to live, though. The reach is there from Smiling Knight. As this Bristol ready to really start running at the heroes. And he doesn't care how many towers he dives right now. As Vanguard, Hood, Nest and Y, he can go wherever he wants.
Swinging from lane to lane, recalling from lane to lane, just not giving LtW any space on the map to farm. Dream, this Ursa is just, he's unable to find farm. 20 minutes, he's only 7.8k net worth. 0-2-0. 3-12 at the moment. Smiling Knight really being a boss. Now top FN. We'll be okay. But when is LtW actually going to group up and look for this fight? Look to actually punch back here with this Blink Echo. You know, they've got all the tools at the ready, just being very hesitant because of how big this Bristol is. Maybe mid on Petu. But he gets split off.
He's able to, before the Thunder comes into connection, and now he's going to start running straight back at them. The rest of Empire swinging over. See what sort of a catch they can get. Afterlife tries to jump out with the swashbuckle, but they've got the setup. Yule's Gwynblood into the Remnant. He's trapped the Pango, taking him out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As just going to show LtW, they've got to be so careful with how they try and start these fights off. As into the base they go, they're ready to try and dive. As Suneko getting low and much will jump in with the Echo, is able to catch out Gwynblood as they bring down the Void Spirit. It's something, but it is just the one of them. And still the rest of Empire continuing to completely unfazed by anything that LtW throw at them.
Bristol's too big of a problem. Dream just needs way more time to be able to actually join up into these fights. Actually have a good squad to keep fighting around whenever they do have that primal split, and he's very close to his Aghanims. I thought that they were going to have a lot harder time actually getting to this point, but now he'll always have his ult up for the fight, so he'll always have at least one charge. Starting to look a little pretty tough here for LtW to actually do much. They're just playing the farm game. Until Dream has BKB, it just feels very limited for them to actually take on any head-on fights unless some Dream Echo. And they're going to have 90 seconds without it. So Empire feel like they can keep dictating the space, keep running at them, and they even find a DD. So they can actually force a Roche potentially.
A Roche or an easy kill.
Or an easy kill.
Afterlife. All instantly out with a Rolling Thunder.
Okay.
And he needed to as well there. Gwynblood very close to getting the Yule set up on it.
FN continuing his split push, trying to get these towers. Buying Dream to feel comfortable.
Smiling Knight's future gold being spent. Okay, the AC, it's pretty close. You know, it's just a sort of that big recipe away. And we're really going to see some damage issues when Dream does try and commit with just the BKB onto a target. As bottom lane, Static Storm's down. It's trapped FM for now. It will be able to now get the Dream Coil down onto Gwynblood, but he's got ways to protect himself as he's up with the Yules. He's going to be brought to the side. He's fine. And now it's Afterlife and FN that have to get on the retreat. They're into the trees. They've found Dream. As Dream is enraged, comes to an end. Nothing else to keep himself safe as Dream will fall.
And Petu just zones the enemy team with his primal split now pretty easily. Again, these recalls, these glimmers, Sayu comes in, protects his teammates, protects the Void Spirit. For life. Looking around bottom.
No one can do on his own, though. Showing himself
this is actually such a good solution to the minus armor that is coming out from the puck, from the Pango and everything.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He just hit so hard right now, this Bristol. Still just so far ahead of the farmer Dream. Dream has been a very sort of slow, painful game for him. 1-3-0 on the Ursa, and not a lot of farm to show for it. There just hasn't been the space on the map. He hasn't been able to find those safe areas because of how well Empire's been keeping this global pressure up with Sayus, Keeper of the Light, dragging people all over the map.
They're really just showing no mercy. It's every time somebody shows on the map, 3 or 4 heroes collapses. Afterlife, he shows on a wave. Gwyn's already there. Recall's already starting. Actually, doesn't even need the recall.
Yeah, they just can't run. They can't get away from this. Yep. It seems like at the moment they have to play like this live to win, where you are split up and you just sort of accept somebody's going to die.
But they're giving up so many kills because they're so split up versus a disruptor. They're buying back to fight here. Oh, immersion.
I mean, the Echo does allow him to blink out. See if they can turn this. They try moving on to Smiling Knight, but the Static Storm's down. Soneko going for the ult, but they're able to put it to an end. Smiling Knight continuing to get stunned. They've Dream Coiled him, but still they really lack the damage to take down this Bristle. They cannot kill him off at all. Immersion. He's going to be chased down. Gwynfly jumps over. A double kill for Petu. FN, he's looking for couriers. He'll get one of them and he will get out to the side. They're going to see if they're able to chase now. That they're not even bothered about chasing the poke. They'll just go for Roche. There's 3 more kills for Empire. An easy Roshan. And it really
feels like Live to Win just has no clue how to play versus this Bristol. They're actually they've avoided the fights every single time, and now when he's fully online, they commit to TP buybacks to try to fight him. He literally has everything that he wants in this game now at this point, and that's when they choose to actually go for him. It seems like some very strange decisions, as like Dream, he's just farming to recover, but he's just getting picked off because they have amazing gank with Recall and Disruptor. So all this like splitting of the map is not beneficial for them.
I mean, he's trying to TP out, but Gwyn's there. As they are, they're making this one messy now. Empire they are just crushing Live to Win. Live to Win cannot get anything done here, as this Bristol is completely out of control.
It well and truly feels impossible. They never fought. It feels like they literally never did anything but just farm this game. They let Empire swing from lane to lane. It was Seiyu who was doing these really nice moves with the recalls, but I'm just surprised the way that they played when they had this good advantage at the start. Just so passive.
For sure, the amount of stacks that Seiyu did and the boost that he gave to Smiling Knight, it just seems like they were able to propel him in a way that the Live to Win was sort of caught off guard with how farm this Bristol became as quickly as he did.
Just, it feels like so many things. Like, FN is 0-0-4. Before he even ever casted a coil on the Void Spirit had a Yule Scepter already finished. It just seems like it's way too passive of an approach. They let Empire do everything that they wanted to. They let them stack, they let them do their recalls, they let them do their glimpse backs and pickoffs. Live to Win just hasn't been keen to fight, ever, until the Bristol was actually fully farmed and ready. This feels weird.
And just losing these racks. They can't do anything. They're just watching, and somebody's pasting chickens down on the ground. That's all they can do. That is their defense.
And Ursa's BKB still dead on the courier for 8 seconds, so he can't look to fight.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Maybe they felt like because they were versus the Brew, he just really needed this BKB because he's getting thrown in the air a lot. But I don't know. It just seems very weird. As Empire now freely able to just push and take towers with just a Bristol sieging.
Well, they've got the BKB on Dream now, so it's something. But we'll see if that does allow him to at least commit, start the fight off with maybe killing one of the easier targets on the back. Immersion. The setup onto Seiyu. Static Storm's already down onto Afterlife. They will manage to get in a burst through the Keeper of the Light, but they've lost Afterlife. FN getting the Dream Coil down at the back lines, but immediately stunned, held in position. FN goes down, and they're going to call it. They know there's just nothing that they can do, and it really feels like the whole of this game, folk. There was just nothing that they did do.
Yeah, this was a little weird, I'll be honest. I felt they had some chances to actually pick heroes off and fight a bit when Empire was splitting up, but I guess just with no information on the map and just having some trouble split pushing, they could never actually make a move. It felt weird to me, honestly. It's like they were waiting for the immersion blink dagger, then he got it, then they waited for the next
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. League's assassin. Dire team pick.
Earth Spirit.
Seconds remaining.
A third and deciding game between Live to Win and Team Empire. An important series. As we pointed out before, this series could mean the difference between making it to Singapore and not making it to Singapore. Both teams are at a 1-1 score so far, so a lot can still happen. We're going to find out how this third game is going to happen, though. First of all, I'm joined by Brian on the big screen, ready for the draft. I'm here with Cap and T-Guff as well. And Brian, starting off with you, we're having the third game right around the corner. And I believe we are not going to see Keeper of the Light again. Are we not surprised?
And the hero makes map movements 10 times faster, really, and allows heroes like Bristleback, who are limited by mobility, to do way more than they usually can. They can prioritize their own farm while also being able to show up to team fights from across the map.
It does mean that previous game we saw Timber banned out by Empire in the first phase, as well as Earth Spirit earlier as well, meaning both of them making it through Nyx Assassin and Nature's Prophet on side and Live to Win.
This is what I was talking about after the game 2. It's the idea of we should be happy that Empire, won. We get to see a game 3, but you have to instantly forget it and think about your game 3 strategy, because you're not going to get this Keeper of the Light. And you can see how Empire, they've offered up the same heroes from game 1, and this is their kind of improvements from that game. That loss, they want to pick up this Timbersaw. They forced this Furion to most likely have to be that position 5, and we are going to be able to see Empire kind of go again, round 2 on that first draft.
Round 3 in the series.
That's true.
This is how that works. Game 3. It's all or nothing in this one.
I like that they, so when Live to Win opened with the Timbersaw, they went for the Crystal Maiden, but as a result, weren't able to get themselves the best 4 position that is a strong roamer, right? So I think here, Clockworks or Earth Spirit, one of those two, probably the best 4 position roaming hero to take advantage of the fact you have a self.
The best thing as well in this matchup, you have Earth Spirit, who, again, like you said, loves to be active. But if there is a hard counter in the lane for the Timbersaw, Earth Spirit is one of the best position fours that likes to grab the creep wave and also is quite safe. So it's very easy for them to play out any lane scenario. And if it is rough, they can help secure the Timber. But if it's great, you're going to have this Earth Spirit running at mid and applying pressure.
Is there anything that we can learn from the bans coming out here for both sides, Brian?
Live to Win struggles with push heroes and summons heroes. Both the heroes are single target damage with complete lack of deep push, so they're banning out the Lycan and Wraith King. On the other side of Team Empire is just banning out the heroes that make Timbersaw's life a little bit of a living hell. So I don't think there's necessarily anything to tell from these bans when it comes to moving forward in the draft, but it's definitely something to learn from if you are watching and you want to know more about the heroes they've already picked.
Yeah, I think another thing as well is for Live to Win, they have to look towards how are they countering this Timbersaw, and that's going to be a very single target heavy hero. And it, like Brian said, it doesn't allow them to pick cores that can also deal with push. So they need to make sure that they don't have to deal with the Timbersaw and the push and, all this kind of tempo stuff coming together, because Timbersaw, he's a hero that basically forces the draft to become him.
Still get their hands on the Crystal Maiden. They left Ursa out there, which we've seen kind of be one of the go-to bans when Labs Timbersaw. And then I would like to point out that Puck is still out in the pool as well.
Oh, yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if either team might look towards it, because I think Empire... Let's go for a Bloodseeker.
All right.
Rupture Timbersaw.
I don't know how I feel about
Can't
that.
play. Yeah, and I'm kind of like on the fence here, because in regards to the moment in which he's fighting, that rupture, it stops him from diving, but it's not like you never have kill threat. You just stop him for like a small period of time and then he just runs at you again. So it's additional wave clear that might help them like start fortifying positions, but I'm not really a big fan of it so far.
They need some displacement, something that makes the rupture guaranteed to have effect, I think, because as of right now, based on the 3 heroes Live to Win have, Timbersaw can just get ruptured and just not move. Like, why does he have to move? They don't really have sustained damage. They have the break from Nyx, but that's about it in regards to their burst. So, like, the thing about Timbersaw is he's a great hero to get down to 300 health and then not be able to kill him. And that's what my concern is right now for Live to Win. Seeker also struggles against these 2 supports. I like to pick Bloodseeker when they are lacking a bit of lockdown. So it looks like they've moved the Bloodseeker to I'm griefing the Timbersaw's game, we'll put it off lane. I haven't been as much of a fan of his off lane. They've buffed his, like Maelstrom got a buff this patch, as well as nerfing his Bloodright. So I really think they tried to turn him into a carry rather than an offlaner. But it looks on paper like a really nice anti-mage game, but I think they're going to have some serious mid-game issues on the side of Live to Win. But if they can get past that like early 15 minutes, anti-mage gets Battle Fury Manta, I really like their prospects if the game's still looking pretty even at that point.
Yeah, and I think if you're Live to Win, you have to ban out these more tempo-driven cores. I think it's gonna sound crazy saying it, but I think Medusa is still a very good hero for Empire, just because anti-mage and Medusa, it's a very 50-50 matchup, but if you have the time to farm Manta +1, go get Aegis and Rapier, you end the game before anti-mage ever plays. So that needs to be thought about. Juggernaut as well, very good for the pacing of the game. You have the healing ward against the Bloodseeker. I think these are the 2 cores I think Empire were looking towards.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Anti-mage has, even though it might seem like a great anti-mage game, has not had a lot of success, right? I know that in CIS alone, he's been picked 7 times total with 2 games win from that, so that's not too great.
Everyone likes to fight. Everyone likes to play a strong lane and collapse the map and try and, move your carry to the point in which you can start applying pressure. Anti-mage, he's completely opposite of that. He plays out his lane and he retreats to the jungle. He might poke his head if there's a fight near an objective that he's around, but he doesn't seek the engagement, unlike pretty much every other core can at some point have a timing to play around. So that's why we haven't seen him be too prominent. And in this game, the anti-mage's role will just be annoy the Timbersaw, have no mana, can't really pressure, but it's not going to be stopping farm. And Storm, we've seen him by Orchid into instant BK. I think, Empire, one really active carry will be very scary to play into.
And we saw how effective Windblight was in that Storm earlier, and there is the puck still indeed.
Yeah, I think you needed something to help, like, just put some lockdown on some of these heroes. You needed some more magic burst damage. So you needed the control against the Storm. You needed the lane matchup. And then on top of that, anything that would help allow this Bloodright to land.
5 seconds remaining.
All right, what boxes does that last hero need to tick? Empire have a full 2 minutes left in their bonus time to think about this. Or, maybe they want to grab a glass of water or whatever. They have time for that too.
They've demanded silence in the draft.
Just go Jug, please.
Ooh,
Luna.
Okay, sure.
Speaking of heroes that haven't been...
Luna?
What?
Didn't they try Luna in, like, their first series?
Yep, they tried Luna against Virtus Pro. Empire did. It was not successful.
Nope. Yeah.
I don't think there's been a lot of people that are successful on the Luna, though, so I'm not sure if that's a complete surprise there. Brian, I see a big frown on your face after this last big Luna. Talk to us.
What really bothers me, I've talked about it in previous drafts, is that they have a Timbersaw who, once he gets like level 7 or 8, he wants to be played around so that he can be enabled to take towers. Storm Spirit's going to want the Earth Spirit CM to play with him for kills. So I really imagine that they needed a core that just they left alone, let it do its thing. It may show up to some fights and then push some towers. So in that regard, like, Luna's okay, but I'm concerned that this Luna is just going to get picked on. Once Nyx is 6, Nature's Prophet gets some levels up, Puck has Coil. I feel like there's no save. They can just throw everything on this Luna in the early to mid game, kind of let the Timbersaw have his own game. And sometimes rather than picking on the Timbersaw, you can just say, well, that's a Timbersaw, let's go ruin their win condition. And that's why I usually like to pick self-sustained survivable heroes when I have a Timbersaw. So I'm skeptical of this Luna pick. I really don't like it, but maybe it'll work out.
Maybe it will work out. I have also got the stat that so far in the CIS division, both upper and lower, there's been 3 Lunas picked total, 0 victorious cap.
Yeah, it's not been going great.
No.
But I think it's pretty underrated. I think, sure, it's only 3 games, 3 losses, but if you put it in the right game, I think it can excel. This is the type of game where you play behind the timber, you play more sacrificial in the idea of early map pressure. You like to buy early BKB, and the Storm with, like, you're pretty much playing for every core having 2 items and you're ending the game. If you're playing longer than that, you've made a mistake and you're probably going to lose. But I think they have a really strong, cohesive, end the game quick timing that we saw in game 2. So
yeah, I will say that I think their lineup is supposed to create a decent amount of space, and Luna is somebody who does gobble up a lot of space with Mask of Madness. So I can see how it works. Still leading with Live to Win though.
All right, let's find out if this Luna can break the curse, or maybe Live to Win is gonna take this victory 2-1. We're finding out together with Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Let's find out indeed. Game 3 here, ready to go. The deciding match between Empire and Live to Win. And folks, we're getting some of these old school carries in from both of the sides, Anti-Mage and Luna. What do you reckon sort of about these 2 heroes right now, and which one do you think is going to have the easier time of taking the victory here?
I hate to say it, but even though I hate this hero a lot, I'm going to really just be adamant about that. I think Anti-Mage has a very, very tough place to find himself in games, but this looks like a pretty good Anti-Mage game. If Empire starts to fall behind it on this game, this AM is going to just take over. He has great matchups versus pretty much everybody. Even Luna, the carry matchup, it's not good for Luna. Unless you're the one you have to end the game, like I think like T was saying, 2 items. You have to just be the one pretty much hitting racks. Otherwise, AM is going to outfarm you, and he's going to kill you every single time. You or the Storm has very good core matchups. Definitely a little concern for Empire, but let's see if they can take advantage of Anti-Mage. That's what I always like to see. I think this hero is super weak at the moment, except versus very particular.
I mean, and as we saw, you know, this Luna has been something that Empire has tried before. It's obviously something that they like. What do you think the logic was in picking it this game? Like, what do they think this final pick is going to be able to achieve for them?
Taking the towers, putting the pressure on the buildings, that's entirely what they were lacking. I guess that's what their thought is. It does give you the 35 damage for you and all your heroes. So when everybody is hitting buildings, it's going to be a lot better than that. Besides that, I don't see too much. And I guess the fact that you're going to farm faster than the AM early game, but AM will eventually catch up to you. I'm worried, but we'll see if they can make it work. As also, JJ did point out to me, no other region in the DPC has picked Luna. It's only EU and CIS, and it is 0-4.
That's pretty wild. I mean, there must be something that these teams believe about, you know, really believe in it.
Well, how about you look at this? This is something. Look at Dream and Afterlife right now. They're just hogging in the jungle at the moment.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Again, all about these lane matchups. This seems to be the big thing with these 2 teams, about getting that exact lane that they do want. And the AM is going to be able to meet up top versus that Timber, and Bloodseeker will meet bottom. But Luna's already gotten a whole wave by the time Bloodseeker gets down there.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's a lane that kills can definitely be had here from Empire with the 3 of them down.
That's also another power of Luna, is if you just tri lane. I guess that's the other thing I didn't really think about, is if you just have a tri lane with this hero, it's very strong, and you leave a solo hero like a Timbersaw on his own. Petu, he'll struggle a bit up here because it is the AM.
See how things go between Gwyn and Fairness. So we saw sort of last game, FN, he got a lot of farm on the puck, but wasn't able to have too much of an impact, really.
No, he didn't really. He just farmed literally the entire game. He didn't really cast many coils. I think I counted back. I think he only has 3 coils in that whole. So, bottom is the tri-lane action, Afterlife. Can he get away?
Gonna be able to keep him covered there with the Impale.
Oh, wait, what the? The creeps just killed both couriers.
Wait, what?
It walked right through the dire creep wave, and the creeps literally just killed him.
All right, easy couriers.
Easy money for the dire side, as Eknard and both Smiling Knight will lose theirs to some creeps. As we see Eknard, he gets the points in his 2 abilities rather than getting the Arcane Aura early, and this is going to be a really tough lane for Live to Win to get much of anything down here. Bloodseeker, 0 last hits, and I don't think it's going to get much easier for him.
Yeah, he's got to be smart with his blood rights. Try and get a CS with that, really. That seems like his best bet. As rolling, Immersion, he looks pretty dead here. First blood for Empire. The tri-lane, it's doing exactly what it needs to, and more. I mean, it couldn't really be going any better, this tri-lane setup and what it's achieving down here.
And sure, Petu is not getting absolutely everything top, but he's got 9 last hits, and he's already at the level 3. So you see their harassment is just tickling him. He's out of mana, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, this tri-lane setup is actually working really well. Immersion not able to get in between to cut any creeps because of this Earth Spirit's positioning. So they're going to get like pretty much nothing down here. I wonder what they're going to actually do to get something. Because if they just keep this tri-lane down here, these 2 heroes are going to be pretty much shut down throughout the entire early game. And they're pretty important. As we were saying, Empire really wants to be playing ahead during the entirety. If they just take out 2 heroes significantly, it's going to be a really good mark for them. Yeah, they just have to watch. Look at it. They can't even approach the creep wave whatsoever. Still 0 last hits for Afterlife.
I mean, how do they fix this? I mean, they can't change the lane, right? They can't. Because this is what they wanted, kind of, right? They wanted Dream up top against the Timber.
That's like almost, do you want to just make your move and put a 3rd hero up top as mid? Gwyn? FN is able to find the rune, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to kill him unless they get some godly blocks, which they kind of are.
That's Snake doing his best as, yeah, that'll get the kill. Say you're not able to do enough there to keep Gwyn safe.
Very nice. Huge from Seneko. Nice rotation too, as he's not really helping top anyway, so it's a free move for him. And now because of the rotation from Earth Spirit, Bloodseeker and Nyx are actually able to get something.
Oh, he's going to get a CS.
Work out. Is he?
He's going to get a CS, I believe. There you go. He got a few from the Blood Right Hand, as you say. He's got this wave and a half underneath the tower. So finally, Afterlife able to get a bit of farm in this game.
Things have been salvaged. Pretty much just because Seiyu actually rotated to help out his Storm and wasn't able to. So a little bit of a miss move from the Earth Spirit, allowing a kind of a double mistake in a way. He doesn't pressure bottom when they have double wave, and he doesn't help his Storm either. Bounty runes. Seneko's actually TPing in to take this one away too. 2 for 2. And now they're definitely looking to dive bottom. There's a creep wave coming in. They don't want to go under the tower, but if they step up at all past it, they can look to get these kills. As Afterlife does have 10 wand charges. Same thing for Immersion. They're quite a bit tankier. If they go too much farther forward, though, if they can get 2 Lucent Beams off during the chase out, they should be able to have it. They're being careful.
See how far out LtW does want to come with this creep wave. So okay,
they actually rotate. Oh, okay. This is a good move here. This is unexpected too. Right when they had no vision of the puck. They're going to throw the scan though. They actually get him. Nice read of the map there by Empire.
Thanks.
Anything with this now? It's safe.
I like the attempt at the move though, because Luna is so vulnerable early on to any heroes that get on top of her, like a puck, which just forces that. So I do like the attempt at rotation. They'll find Eknart. Might just settle for this.
He's going to be coming in for Gwyn. They're going to look for the counterplay. As Gwyn, he's trying to get a grab onto FN, won't be able to do so, so they'll have to settle for Seneko.
All right, top. Petu is actually starting to put the pressure onto Dream here. The 0 mana, but he is level 6 with Mango Soul Ring. Him has to give some respect to it. Petu's done really well up top. I thought he would actually get slowed down a little more, but nope, doesn't matter. He sticks up there.
To threaten that bit of burst against Dream each time he steps in.
Yeah, Dream can't actually start poking him, and that Arcane Aura is starting to build up. Now he's able to hit him a few times, but Mango's out. Dream will get forced away from the tower again, and a big creep wave that Petu's going to be able to use to pressure this tower with the catapult.
Same time, bottom.
Yep.
You can run down Eknart. No, not with Smiling Knight by his side. There's definitely going to be something though, right? That the Smiling Knight
is under attack.
Okay, how's he doing? He's actually not doing too bad on levels, despite having most of it. For the entirety of this laning stage between the 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he is almost level 6 down here with that split. Afterlife is almost level 5 on the counterpart, the opposing this offlaner here. So he's still Afterlife's doing a lot better than I thought he was going to from the start of that, but not in comparison to Petu. Petu is having a much freer time and actually just really taking down this tower. Look at this. He's got it down to half health already. What if they're just going to let him do this?
I mean, is this Timber killable if a rotation comes in? Can you punish him for this, or do you just have to let him do it?
With the AM Mana Void, I believe they can. If he's completely out of mana, then they actually do have some nice burst damage for him, but it's looking pretty hard. They're actually just going to give it up. Not going to make the call, FN. He's just going to chill in the mid lane, finish up his Veil. And Tower's going to die. So Petu,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
great stuff for being on his own.
Again, in a lane setup that was a lane setup that Live to Win wanted to do against Empire. So definitely not achieved anything in terms of slowing down this Timber.
No, definitely not. And this, like we said, they want to play ahead on the side of Empire. Gold is pretty even, Experience slightly leading them. And this is a good moment for them right now. AM is going to just start having to back up and never be able to join these fights besides a Mana Void. So now they can really start swinging around and looking for fights. Just the biggest thing is keep tabs on FN. He's kind of the only one that can do anything to your lineup on Empire. So if they know where FN is, they can make some nice moves around it.
I mean, and if they are... Oh, mid.
Oh, mid. Who's getting the first move? Immersion.
If they can keep him alive, and they're going to be able to do so.
Survives.
They actually keep him alive.
The raindrop. It actually.
I mean, it made up the
protects him.
difference because, you know, they were holding him down very nicely for the Dream Coil into the silence. They got the stun off as well with the Impale, but not quite enough.
Balanced item, that raindrop early game. So good versus a hero like Puck. I think he actually blocks he blocked 2 instances of damage even with it because of the coil earlier. Yeah. And then later on, yeah, very nicely done. As Petu goes mid, and now he's going to look to siege this tower down too.
No.
Spot him. Trying for immersion. Afterlife able to merit to be safe. Still low though, and Quinn. Ooh. He's going for a big zip. Not quite big enough though, immersion. A little too far away. As the runes will come out, FN still able to get that bounty rune, even with Steo's best attempts to stop him from doing so.
I like that FN actually went for the Veil this game. They're going to be lacking some damage in the early game, especially versus Timber. This could be the difference maker. He does have the hood coming out though, and Petu's still absolutely dominating and improving and showing his dominance here in the mid lane. This tower is going to go down too. I mean, so Live to Win, they're going to push the top tower as a response, but not looking to actually fight here.
Is this sort of Veil Blink build not rather risky though against a Storm that is rushing the Orchid and going to have probably quite a good time on it?
Definitely can have its risks. I wonder if he switches from the Blink and just goes for Yules. I don't think he needs to go Blink to force stuff early on either. They have anti-mates, right? They want to just be able to play this passive game. As they're going to set up, they have to break, but he's already got the armor stacks.
And now he's got the backup. Sayer's going to roll in. And Gwyn as well coming across. Petu, he's going to be able to live. They're just turning, grabbing back FM with the Vortex as they'll cut down the two of them. They try to commit onto the Timber. It's just not enough damage, even with that Veil buff.
Yeah, and now bottom, they're setting up for this attack here versus Live to Win with only 2 heroes. After like said.
I mean, that's three big kills for the Storm to be involved in as well, as that's really going to speed up Gwyn's Orchid. A good burst.
And he has a regen too. He actually can continue his impact on the map now because of this too. That's, I mean, huge losses there for Live to Win, giving up pretty much everything versus a kill that's just not going to happen.
I mean,
like you break him, but he has 24 reactive armor. He broke the coil though. If he didn't break coil, he was going to be a lot more free to be fine.
But you think for the most part, like if the Timber's there like that, you only go on him if you have what, 3 hit? Like what do you need to be able to go on him?
To have the third, the last, either a Wrath of Nature. Maybe it didn't. Maybe that's what I missed. Maybe they tried to go for with the Wrath and it didn't hit him. Because I did see it's on cooldown. So maybe that was the play that they were trying to do with Wrath and Veil. But if not, you need like the AM Mana Void to come in, or the Bloodseeker Bloodright. They need something else if they're going to go for those setups. And I feel like the Afterlife actually has to be there to defend towers too. So maybe a little bit of slip up from him.
Radiant are scanning.
Still keeping themselves at a decent point. The AM's still farming fine, and they are getting aggressive.
They get themselves in. On to Say. So he's able to roll away though. He's going to live. They'll drop the Dream Coil down onto Exnar alone. As a dead CM, but that was the smoke move and not finding the big kill that they were hoping for with that hunt.
Now Petu has Hood, so he is way harder to kill. They probably don't have the damage to deal with him at all now, even with a third hero. This hood is going to just protect him that much more. They'll probably need everybody to bring him down now. Still keeping up, though. The gold lead is still just staying the same. Empire winning on experience because of those live to win slip-ups when they gave up those kills. But I think you're still pretty happy as Dream. He's going to have a way faster Battle Fury than he did on his Ursa.
True. Well, that's true. And we'll see if this Anti-Mage can carry. As you said earlier, in a game that, you know, things don't go too downhill early on for Live to Win, Anti-Mage on paper should have a very good chance of carrying this game.
Yeah, he should just be able to almost 1v5 this game. There's a couple silences and stuff he needs to play around, but if he's able to get the space from the split push that's going to inevitably happen from Nature's Prophet Puck, he has a really good shot of carrying, especially because he's only 600 gold behind Luna.
Yeah.
Luna wants to be much more ahead, at least like 1,000, 2,000, maybe something around there. Battle Fury is going to get online and Luna's going to start getting out. Still no Orchid on Gwyn either. Had it just a bit faster. That actually last game he had the first game was told me he had at 11:52. I remember. So this one is quite a bit slowed down here. Nice rune steal by Immersion. And let's see if they start to actually force anything. As Petu, he almost has his Eternal Shroud. And then I want to see him just continue to do what he was doing before. You know, park himself to go for another tower. Just look to have the Luna play behind him and his team play behind him. Just be that unbreakable force.
Sure, because as you said, there's got to be a point where Empire they want to get some. They're going to want to get something done.
They have to do something.
You cannot sit back whilst this AM's just having pretty much that whole half of the map to himself. They haven't really put any pressure on or made any invasive moves into Live to Win's jungle.
Yeah, Live to Win is aware of what they need to do, though. Look at the ward coverage. They do the 2 entrances to the jungle. They throw out a successful scan when they're not seeing much. Seneco's going to break the gank perfectly, which even he dies, that's fine, because then he protected Dream. Nice move by Seneco to know what that is. He even throws the Wrath of Nature just to push out the lanes when he does die. So they get this kill, but they're not going to get much more out of it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nice little split up of the mount of Live to Win.
See if they find any of Empire once they make their way back. And Eknar, he'll be found. FN again, holding nothing back there against the CM. Dream Coil down, wants to make sure the kill's secured.
This time he's casting the Dream Coils at maximum frequency, and he did switch the build. He went for the Veil into Yules because of that Orchid rather than the Blink. Feels like the much more appropriate one as now Seiyu.
It's looking to be pretty dead. He's going to have some backup. And then the backups, is it going to be enough to keep him safe? FN's trying to finish him off. As Seiyu will go down to the Bloodbright. Empire trying to see if they can find anything in return, but FN's already got the orb out and he's away. They'll manage to get the kill and get out despite Empire trying to turn up and get a trade there for losing Seiyu.
They forced all of Empire to mid too, which is huge because now Dream, they can continue doing their split up. Dream. A nice reflected frostbite. He'll be able to survive and get his farm. So nice move from Live to Win, getting themselves all the space in the world for this anti-mage.
Well, as soon as Dream draws the attention up there, he's off to the other half of the map.
What's this? What's the Luna building toward? Okay, SNY into Dragonlight.
All the stats.
Okay.
So
at least he's going for full right click. I feel like he needs to get an early butterfly, and he probably wants to get this BKB, but I feel like just butterfly and just they need to end the game. They need to just like really pick up the pace.
If you're going SNY and Dragonlance, like, isn't this more of a build where you're trying to avoid getting a BKB?
Yeah.
You're going to need a bigger item after these two sort of
I'm not sure. I feel like BKB and Butterfly after SNY is like we need to end the game right away after these 3 items before AM's able to play the game. But we'll see if we'll see if this one works out as they're still okay. This AM is just getting a lot of space, which is worrying. They're not finding Dream. They're not able to hunt for him because of this lane positioning.
Gwyn.
Live to Win. They're just being faster.
They've caught him. In with the Dream Coil on top of him. Is he able to live long enough to get out? He's not. As FN will be frostbitten, but he's able to jump out to the orb, stay it. Also in a bit of trouble here is Immersion and Snako are trying to chase him. Eknar and Smiling Knight are coming across. Say with Dukes in the jungle will actually keep himself enough. Immersion, he's actually going to be found there. Nice little sentry drop down right on top of them, giving them that temporary vision of the area, allowing them to find his little hidey hole.
Empire needs to now push this tower, though. Coil was used, Wrath of Nature was used, Nyx, everything was used. Just take this tower. Patu will, because it's already pretty damn low, actually. Didn't notice how low it was. So they'll at least be able to get that out of this. But Live to Win, they're forcing movements around the map, which is just giving anti-mage space. The deny. He wants blood now.
He's going for this Patu. He's in. Has he got enough burst? Oh, not quite. They're making a way. Afterlife coming in, seeing if he could have found the opportunity for that rupture, but two already out.
That's close. If they get the rupture there, there's a chance for them to be able to chase out this Timber because how far he did dive. And AM continues to farm. Once he gets Manta, he'll start actually turning up to these fights, and he's going to be problematic for this Storm and for this Luna, and even for, I mean, maybe not Timber, the Storm and the Luna mostly, because that's the main targets he's going to go for. He's going to have great mana voids. And then the fights are going to be difficult, as we've seen Live to Win. They do have good damage. With this Wrath of Nature bouncing through with this Veil, it's definitely adding up.
Say it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And all of this spotted out by Immersion, who also did dispel the smoke that we're coming in with.
The power of Nyx. Just so much information given. They can get this push going. He might pay with his life. He will. But it cost him a dust and a sentry. Let's see if they can get anything out of the map as the split push is going to instantly commence. And they're going to actually set up Seiyu bottom maybe to catch something. The Earth Spirit looking for this Bloodseeker. Since they do have the Storm, Gwyn. He can do these long zips if there's a good opportunity.
Seiyu. Starting off the action. I need some help soon. And there it is. Gwyn in with a big zip. And they get the job done.
Peace.
Nicely done. I like that from Seiyu. It was all about the next move. That's what he was thinking about. When they did the first move, he was already planning for the next one. And I love to see when players do that. But they will now find Patu.
I mean, they've got Dream with them this time. So good bit of punch
Eternal Shroud,
against the Timber. Oh, do they want to chase for it? They don't. Smiling Light popping the ult, and that will give the signal for Live to Win to start to try and retreat. FN will... Oh, is he going to get out? He's got the orb away. And he's into the river, and he's away. He's going to live.
Oh, my God.
He makes it out of there.
Gwyn is hunting, though. Gwyn doesn't want him to. He has a haste. He's swinging over.
Oh, this puck's got to watch out. Gwyn? Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Okay, he's going to settle for the Nature's Prophet. Soneko goes down, but we're seeing Gwyn getting out of there.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Seeing that Eternal Shroud really saving Patu as well. That mana restore that he gets from them. Really saving his life because the mana void didn't actually hit him for full. But now Dream, Manta's done. They've bought their time. Live to Win are in an excellent position now in this game to just constantly fight. As Gwyn, no BKB, still for another 1,600 gold. So this Storm, he doesn't want to show up to fights as much anymore. As soon as they see that Manta, he's going to start feeling the fear.
Yeah, we see as well with the build for Dream. What this guard he's going to...
They're actually just looking for him. Soneko's in.
They've got him trapped in the Sprout. Follow-up Impale into the Blood Rise. Smiling Light's got to step his way out of it, but he's been ruptured. As he cannot stand and fight, this FN swings around with the Dream Coil down onto Eknar as well. As they get the two of them, they're going to continue to try and push on more Dream. Watching from the side, looking for an opportune moment to get in on this. As Seiyu, he'll be the target. They'll jump in, look to clean up the Earth Spirit. He's out to the side, the silence. And not enough to tick him out. Seiyu will live. Oh, but Dream, he's in with the finishing blow. Mana Void dropped. Seiyu will fall. Dream finally finding that opportunity to get the kill he was wanting.
Oh, man. And the timer is hit. I feel like Empire now have a really hard game ahead of them because this Luna, I really don't like this Dragonlance, I have to be honest. I think he needed to go for BKB so that he can just hold his ground inside of these fights. Now it's free for them to Carapace, throw every spell on him, and he's just food. He's so squishy in these fights with this build now. I mean, he would have the BKB pretty much done if he didn't go for the Lance.
Why do you
it's really all about the 2-3 items for this game.
He did want the Lance in the build-up. I mean, what are you sort of feeling that extra attack range is going to do for you this game?
I think he was just trying to be as greedy as possible to hold it off for as long as possible so that it would be that impactful when he gets it. But when you're playing versus AM, it's all about these like very concise timings, and it feels like Empire may have just missed that timing because of this. They're gonna go in Roche, and it feels like they have to get this Roche, or the game's just gonna detonate in their face.
Oh, they're in FN. He's got the coil out. Smiling Light's in trouble. Smiling Light's just straight up dead. They've lost the two of them around the pit. Bash from Roche onto Pedu. Pedu's trying to get out of there, but another impale from him actually comes in. They continue to keep him controlled. They're going to have the silences here as FN jumps over, held in the blood right.
Look at Gwyn.
Dream's just chasing down the storm. He's going into the base. He's finishing him off. As Dream gets the kill, he's going to have a blink up in a second. He's fine. He's easily able to make his way out of there. But there's 4 heroes dying. The back of that attempt for Roshan has lived to win. I mean, that couldn't have been laid out any easier for them to win that fight there.
No, the game is just over now, really. Like, there's nothing Luna can do now in this matchups. And they tipped him. They know, too. As soon as he walks down into the low ground, he's just food. Just click all your spells on him. He has no immunity.
It just dies so quick. Even with the opening impale missing, it didn't matter.
No, it doesn't
Just look
matter.
how quickly that Luna just melts. And really very much a reason why, as you said, you know, teams are just around the world, they're not picking the carry Luna.
Radiant's top tower is under
No,
attack.
it's like one of the few carries that you just absolutely have to have BKB in 90% of lineups, or you're too squishy. And they also picked it into the AM. This is a favorable matchup for AM if you start to fall behind at all on this Luna. And now that they have fallen behind, they've fallen behind in a massive manner. Just look at those graphs, and you see a 91% chance for victory just off of those few fight wins for them.
Quickly as I go.
And now he can't even get space to farm up the BKB, which he desperately needs.
They're losing heroes. There's live to win. They're at the point now where they can kind of go where they want. They may lose immersion, but they're going to get so much more for it. Dream does lose the Aegis, but he was able to take down Gwynblight. As at this stage, live to win. They don't really even need the Aegis to make these moves. They don't mind losing it here. 11K lead continuing.
Dream just going for a Scotty, which he's about to have done. So he's just significantly out farming the Luna at this point. But they'll find Sineko. So contingency kill. But look at Dream is just waiting on the side for an opportunity. Not going to take it. Not going to jump in.
My gratitude.
Chance to jump in and have a go if they split up again.
It's just smooth coasting now for Dream, really. He has the world is his oyster. You know, he's gonna go buy his items, blink around, farm. Has no risk of dying to this draft of Empire now, unless they perfectly set up their silences and stuns and everything onto him, which it's just not gonna happen. Flip to win. Always with immersion on the scout, it's giving them so much information for when these ganks do happen, and they just have such a comfortable window. The BKB is finished on Luna, so let's see. Can they actually win some fights with this?
Bam. We got to get the grab on him. If FN can play his way out of it, he's got backup coming in. Phase shift off. FN's fine. The silence is down on a Gwyn. Gwyn's going to be the first one to fall in this fight. As Smiling Knight is trying to come in with the BKB. The Impale is out onto the two. The Dream comes in with the Man of Void on the backlines. It's 3 dead. Smiling Knight, he's trying to fight, but even with this BKB, he's just not doing anything at all. This Luna offering nothing to the fight as they're all going to get taken down one by one. Pedu, the last man standing, but he's also as good as dead. A triple kill for Afterlife as they just have nothing. And as we saw there, it just felt as underwhelming as it expected. Even with the BKB at this stage, the Luna can't do anything.
That's why Dota is such a beautiful game of this, like, of chess. It's this push and pull where you make this one slight mistake versus a hero like Anti-Mage with this type of draft, and the game's just, it's unwinnable.
Zepam starting to poke a Pedu. They've got the mid lane pushing in as well. Take that second tier 2.
They forced the buyback, though. They're backing up and resetting, picking up all these crazy amount of new items that they now have from the fight. Everyone gets like a free 2,600 gold injection.
20,000 gold ahead of it. Just 27 minutes in.
How quick it happens, right? Look at that. At 21 minutes, it was almost even. But Anti-Mage got the space, and yeah, it's just really the draft at this point now, where Empire if they didn't have a huge lead now, there's no way to really recover to be able to deal with what they're up against. Anti-Mage just has free control, and Live to Win, it's just when they want to decide to end the game now and when they want to just really push forward the issue. As Gwyn still doesn't have BKB. Oh god, immersion's on him.
It's getting rough. Basher also done on Afterlife, so additional ways to just lock down these heroes through the BKBs. As they're chasing, they've got to run all the way back to base it. Poor old Eknar, another Dream Coil drop down for him.
Blood for the twin.
To win. We're seeing just much more of the sort of the control they had of the game as they did in game 1.
Yeah, and a clear understanding of how they should play this game, right? Like just maybe in the beginning, not so much because of these deaths that they gave up when they have this anti-mage draft and they went for bottom, but afterwards it seems like they really understood what they needed to do. Just using the coil liberally, killing supports, just knowing we have an anti-mage in this game. We just need to build time and just make space for this guy to win the game versus lineup, and it's exactly what they did. They did it cleanly after the beginning. They did make some pretty big mistakes at that start, but now
they're going in. On to Afterlife. Afterlife's going to have backup, and he's going to have the BKB. He pops it, and he's ready to stand his ground. Backup from Dream. They're in on the Smiling Knight. Smiling Knight getting bashed. Afterlife will go down, but Smiling Knight's out as well. As they'll lose the carry for the offlaner. FM ready to jump in, continuing to silence and coil the backline.
Gwyn.
Dream's in with a follow-up. They get Gwyn. They get Eknar. As Eknar will buy back. There's also a buyback available on Smiling Knight. I don't know how much else he's going to be able to offer up as Dream is in the front of it, looking towards Sayu, who's able to take him out. Triple kill for the anti-mage. Over towards the CM and the Timber they go. As Eknar's down. Another buyback comes out from Sayu, and Live to Win, they will retreat. They will respect the buybacks from Empire. Their lead just continuing to grow.
I can't believe Empire's continuing with this one, I'll be honest with you. There's no hope for the Luna, but they're going to try to continue this one. But it's no hope for the Luna and Storm. It's 30 minutes in on, and he still does not have the BKB. He can't do anything in the fights. Fully controlled. He'll grab some bounties, but smooth sailing for Live to Win from this point forward. Yeah, anti-mage in mode chill.
And an anti-mage that he wasn't even last pick, right? This was he fourth pick this game, I believe?
It was right after the Storm. Right after the Storm pick, yeah.
Yeah. So they had a chance to respond. They decided to go in with the Luna, and as you say, maybe the idea was that they'd run over this anti-mage with some sort of fast-paced gameplay. It just didn't happen. Did not happen at all.
It just has to be this get ahead, stay ahead mentality with Luna, but it's a really big risk versus an AM where your draft is just so countered. You're all magic damage, really, so.
Comparison game just taken huge slowdown off the back of all these deaths. Incredibly long time it's taken him to get his next item out. Of how well
one other thing I'm curious about, I didn't point it out early, but I will wait till all this kicks off.
And look how quickly that Timber dies. That's the tankiest hero. It dies in a second, and Dream is ready to look for more. Gets the double into the triple. He's over to Smiling Knight. You know he's looking for the big one. Is he going to be able to get it? There's an Ultra. Oh, an FN.
GG.
Taking it away from them. GG, and instant disconnects around the board there from Empire. This was definitely a rough, drawn-out one for them as Live to Win. An anti-mage game, and as you said, it looked to be a good one. It certainly was. Ended up to be a very, very clean anti-mage game for Dream, as I believe he did not die at all, I'm pretty sure, at the end of it. He had a flawless time as it was drafted perfectly, and as I say, at a moment in the